You've been asking and requesting, so we've covered more states for you. Grants for the month of July. So this month, we have many grants, from startup grants, to launch grants, to competition grants, to $50,000 in grants, and grants in many states. Let's get started. Hey everyone, I'm Rinde from AskRinde. Welcome. Happy 4th. Please subscribe to the #1 community for real estate income, grants, and credit. So if you'd like to know what these new grants are for the month of July, those that are expiring that need to apply now, make sure you watch the video to the end. Leave a comment below if you need help with anything. So we're going to be sharing with you new grants every month. From work from home grants, to SBA grants, to small business grants, to self-employed grants, to fast grants, to financial assistance grants, to startup grants, and much more. And we're going to be updating our calendar section on my website, AskRinde.com, where you can download July's grants list. And you can view our calendar section for the latest updates on grants. Also, our grants masterclass is still open. So if you'd like to learn how to get income coming into your business through the form of grants consistently, and how to actually properly position your business, how to get a proper business plan, how to properly structure your business so that you can actually move forward in getting all the funding and access to capital available for your business, make sure you connect with us by going to my website at AskRinde.com, clicking on grants, and getting started today. Number 1, Washington, D.C., the Small Medium Business Growth Fund, $100,000 in grants. So D.C. has just recently announced a new grant program for small businesses in the district to help retain and also expand district-based businesses. And they've set aside about $2 million in grants for this program. And this $100,000 grant can be used for everything from capital improvement to equipment purchase to innovation to health, tech, and much more. And the grant program is being administered by the Washington Area Community Investment Fund. They're actually administering this grant program. Now again, the purpose of this grant program is to actually retain and also expand district-based businesses. And to qualify to apply for this $100,000 in grants, your business must meet the following criteria. Number 1, you must have less than $15 million in revenue on an annual basis. Number 2, you must have less than 100 employees. Number 3, you must have a physical space in the district. So they want to make sure that you actually have a physical location in the district to qualify for this grant. And number 4, you must have site control via a lease or a deed. So they actually need to see proof that you actually either have a lease or a deed for the subject property. And finally, number 5, you must be licensed in Washington, D.C. to do business. Now the deadline to apply for this $100,000 in grants is July 21st at 6 p.m. And you can get more information and apply for this $100,000 in grants by going directly to their website at wacif.org. Number 2, Illinois, the Cook County Grow Grant Program, $10,000 in grants. So the Cook County Grow Grant Program actually launched last year in October, and we covered it. And since then, there's been actually a fallout in a lawsuit that caused the grant program to actually stall. So they actually had thousands of applicants, but there was actually a discriminatory lawsuit filed against to actually bring an injunction and stop the grant program from disseminating the funds. So many who actually applied for the grants had their applications actually rescinded, and the entire grant program had to actually be restructured and rescinded and repurposed. So they're actually on the verge of relaunching this grant program. And initially, when they launched the grant program in October, they had stated that they had $71 million in grant funds. But now with their relaunch, they're stating that they have about $25 million in ARPA funds set aside to give to small businesses to help them grow and expand. And they also acknowledge that many of these businesses crucially needed these funds. Some were on the brink of actually collapsing and closing their doors. So they really need this money to actually be disseminated and help these businesses with this infusion of cash and money into their businesses. Now, as I shared with this grant program, the former was rescinded. So they restructured the program and they're going to be relaunching it for entrepreneurs and businesses to apply. Now, to date, they've actually helped over 4,800 entrepreneurs. So they actually have other programs to help businesses. But this particular program has been long awaited by many entrepreneurs in Illinois and looking to apply for this grant. So to apply for this grant, the details are still rolling out as to what the particulars will be for this $10,000 in grants. However, we do know that you must actually be located in Cook County to apply for the grant, and you also must have been affected by the pandemic negatively. So you'll need to be able to demonstrate that. The other details are still going to be coming out as to what they will require as they relaunch the program. They're going to be stating those, and we will share those with you and also include them in our resource area on my website, AskRinde.com. So for this grant program, they actually use smart sheets. So to fill out the application, you need to do so using Smartsheets. So if you'd like to apply for this $10,000 in grants and get more details and be updated when they actually relaunch this grant, you can actually go directly to their website at cookcountysmallbiz.org/grow grant. Number 3, New York, East Buffalo, the Working Capital Grant Program, $5,000 to $50,000 in grants. So Empire State Development has launched round 2 of the Working Capital Grant Program. Now we covered round 1, where 47 businesses received over $614,000 in grants. And the goal of these grants is to focus on operational help to grow and expand these businesses in the designated grant-approved areas. Now for this round, they've actually expanded their eligibility map, and they're also going to be offering technical assistance. And for this $5,000 to $50,000 in grants, the grant's going to be given out based on gross receipts in tiers. So if your revenues were $5,000 to $49,999, you qualify for $5,000 in grants. If your revenues were $50,000 to $99,999, you qualify for $10,000 in grants. And if your revenues were $100,000 to $1 million, you qualify for up to $50,000 in grants. And the grants are being administered by the LISC, the Local Initiative Support Corporation. And to qualify to apply for this $5,000 to $50,000 in grants, you must meet the following criteria. Number 1, your business must be based in one of the designated areas. As you can see on the screen, they actually have a list of designated areas. And number 2, it must be located in East Buffalo. So if you'd like to apply for this $5,000 to $50,000 in grants and get more details on this grant program, you can actually go directly to the LISC's website, where they actually have set up a link and a form where you can actually apply for this grant. So you can actually go directly to their website at lisc.tfaforms.net/914. Number 4, Ohio, Cuyahoga Falls, $50,000 to $100,000 in grants. So Cuyahoga Falls just recently announced a new small business grant program. So business owners are invited to apply for these grants, and they're encouraging startups as well as existing businesses that are looking to expand their business to apply for these grants. Now these are ARPA funds that's been set aside, and the grants will be given out on a first-come, first-served basis. Now the great thing about this grant program is that they will be receiving applications each quarter. So these grants actually offer gap financing of up to 30% of the project's total projected cost. They also actually have a deferred payment for 1 year with a 10-year term at a 3% rate. So they're focusing on the State Road Business District, and they're giving business owners the opportunity to actually use this $50,000 to $100,000 to expand as well as grow their businesses. So the grants are being administered by the Community Improvement Corporation. And if you'd like to apply for this $50,000 to $100,000 in grants, you can actually go directly to their website at cityofcf.com. Number 5, Indiana, the Franklin Chamber Foundation Capacity Building Grant Program, $2,500 in grants. So the Franklin Economic Development Commission is administering a new capacity building grant program. And the goal with this grant program is to target and focus on 12 businesses with $2,500 in grants. Now these grant funds are coming from about $30,000 in economic development fees that's been set aside for this grant program. And it's actually a fairly easy grant to apply for because it's only actually 4 pages. So to qualify to apply for this $2,500 in grants, your business must meet the following criteria. Number 1, you must have 10 or less employees. Number 2, you must be able to demonstrate and show how you actually use the funds to capacity build. So in their definition of capacity building, they actually want you to use the funds to be able to actually do more marketing, to actually use the funds to actually increase your online presence, to use the funds to actually see how you can actually stretch and increase the capacity of your business. So if you actually just been localized, they want you to take the money and use it strategically to actually catapult your business outside of just where you are currently to increase your capacity. And number 3, they actually want you to be located in Franklin. So as I shared with this grant, is actually a simple 4-page grant that you can actually just fill out and apply for this grant. And it's that simple. So the deadline to apply for this $2,500 in grants is July 31st. If you'd like to get more information and apply for this grant, you can actually go directly to the Franklin Economic Development Commission's website at franklinoc.org/capacity-build-grant-program. Number 6, the Black Magic Reimagined Summit Pitch Competition, $100,000 in grants. So Capital One and Boss Women Media is back again with the Summit Pitch Competition this year. And this time they actually have $100,000 in grants. So this is actually a pitch competition that they've actually had for the last few years. And we've covered one in the past. And for this year, in this $100,000 in grants, you have just over 30 days to apply for this grant. Now, the great thing about competition grants is that it actually gives you the opportunity to apply for grants on your own. And you can actually see what your business is all about and actually practice how to present your business and how to actually compete for money for your business. As I share here on my channel all the time, every entrepreneur needs to know how to actually raise capital for their business, whether that's through grants, whether that's through seed capital, whether that's through private financing, and on and on. So actually, I've actually had to do that over the years and learn different ways to actually generate money and actually bring in money and raise money for my businesses. And this is the skill set that I think that every entrepreneur needs to have. You need to learn how to actually not only sell yourself, but also raise capital for your business. And an excellent way to practice that is via competition grants. So to qualify and to apply for this $100,000 in grants, you must meet the following criteria. Number one, you must be a registered attendee of the Black Girl Reimagined Summit Pitch Competition. Now, I can share with you in the past that their tickets have been somewhere in the range of $250 to $325. So they actually want you to actually be a registered attendee in order to apply for the $100,000 in grants. Number two, you must be 18 years or older. And number three, you must submit a 5-page presentation on your business and also show how you will actually use the funds once you receive it. So this is actually what we teach you in our Grants Masterclass. Not only how to actually position yourself, but also how to actually present your business so that you can actually get capital for your business. So this is actually an opportunity for you to actually now present your business via that 5-page presentation so that you can actually compete for that $100,000 in grants. So as I shared earlier, there's just over 30 days to apply for this $100,000 in grants. So the deadline to apply for this grant is August 1st. So you can get more information and apply for this $100,000 in grants by using the Boss Women Media's link that we've included below. Number 7, the Power Forward Small Business Grant. $25,000 in grants. So the Boston Celtics Shamrock Foundation is back at it again with their Power Forward Small Business Grant. And this time, they partnered up with Vistaprint as well as the NAACP to administer this $25,000 in grants for entrepreneurs and small business owners in the New England area. And these grants are coming from about $500,000 in funds that has been set aside. And we've covered the Power Forward Small Business Grant program over the last few years since their launch in 2021. So the goal of this grant program is to actually create equitable opportunities for businesses throughout the entire New England area. This is the focus of this grant program. So they're focusing on specific locations and specific states within the New England area, including Massachusetts, Maine, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Vermont, as well as areas in Connecticut. Now, as I shared earlier, the Shamrock Foundation is actually working in partnership with Vistaprint as well as the NAACP on this grant program. And to qualify and to apply for this $25,000 in grants, you must meet the following criteria. Number one, you must be in one of the states that's actually been designated to receive the $25,000 in grants. And number two, you must be a Black-owned business, specifically for this grant program. So the deadline to apply for this $25,000 in grants is June 30th. And the grants are being administered by Hello Alice. So you can get more information and apply for this $25,000 in grants by going directly to their website at helloalice.com/grants/power-forward-small-business-grant-2023. Number 8, New York, Geneva, $5,000 to $30,000 in grants. So Geneva has recently launched a new small business grant program for small businesses in that location. And the focus of these grants is going to be on startups, entrepreneurs, as well as small businesses. And the goal with this $5,000 to $30,000 in grants is to actually help micro businesses, startups, small businesses, as well as entrepreneurs through this Community Development Block Enterprise Assistance Program. And as I shared, they received about $180,000 that they're looking to disseminate to locally owned businesses. So to qualify to apply for this $5,000 to $30,000 in grants, you must meet the following criteria. Number one, you must be located in Geneva. Number two, you must have less than 5 employees. Number three, you must be committed to creating at least one low to moderate income job. And finally, number 4, you must be willing to put up at least 10% cash equity for every project. So they're going to be having info sessions to give out more information on this $5,000 to $30,000 in grants, so you can actually learn more of your qualification and what the criteria will actually be involved in applying for the grant and what they actually look for scope in the projects that you will actually be doing that's attached to this grant. So if you'd like to get more information and apply for these grants, you can actually go directly to the city's website at cityofgenevany.com. Number 9, Washington, Spokane, $45,000 in grants. So Spokane just recently announced the second round of their small business grant program. So they're actually focusing on businesses that need these grants. They want to focus on helping businesses that need the financing, that need the money infusion to be able to keep their businesses growing. So we previously covered round one. Now for this round, they're actually going through a notice of funding availability process. Now one key thing about this grant is that it's actually for existing businesses as well as startups. So also businesses that have actually started in 2020 and also 2021 are also eligible to apply for about $15,000 in grants through this grant program. Now to qualify to apply for this up to $45,000 in grants, your business must meet the following criteria. Number one, you must be able to demonstrate and show a decline of loss of revenue. So this is actually important. Many grant programs actually want to see that before they give the money out to you, they want to see that you actually took a hit and you've actually lost revenue. And you're not just trying to use the money to actually add to growing revenues that your company has. They want to see that you've actually had a dip in revenue so they can actually meet you right where you need the money, because there are many businesses all around the country that actually crucially need these funds. So this is something that you actually have to demonstrate to them via bank statements or other means that they may ask and require of you to provide of how to actually demonstrate those gross receipts and also those lost revenues. Number two, you must be able to have a UEI number to apply for this grant. So you need to actually make sure that you actually have that in order to apply for this grant. Number three, you must have actually a certificate of insurance for this specific grant. Now this is actually one of the unique grants that's asking for that, but they actually want to see a certificate of insurance for your business. And number four, you must have a license from the state of Washington to operate your business to apply for this grant. So these are actually the key criteria that they actually want to see in order to apply for this up to $45,000 in grants. Now the deadline to apply for this grant is August 31st. And you can get more information to apply for these grants by going directly to their website at my.spokanecity.org. Number 10, the Small Business Growth Fund, $5,000 to $25,000 in grants. So Gen, the Global Entrepreneurship Network, as well as Etsy and Progressive, is back at it again with round two of their Small Business Growth Fund. So we previously covered this fund here several times here on my channel as they've had subsequent rounds. And this is actually a great grant for you to actually apply for your business. If you're actually in locations that are remote, that may not have a lot of grant opportunities, we highly try to actually bring you these grant opportunities and also share with you grant opportunities that you can actually apply for regardless of where you are. So if you actually know what you're doing with grants, it doesn't matter where you are, you can actually apply for grants from anywhere. So I highly encourage you to apply for grants like these because they're simple to apply for. There's not a lot of criteria that go along with them. And you can actually just take the opportunity and chance and apply with your business for this grant. So the goal with this grant is to actually help businesses accelerate as well as achieve their goals. And that's one of the criteria that they actually have stated for you to actually display how you actually will achieve your goal within the year of applying for this grant. So the grant program is being administered by Hello Alice, and the criteria is quite simple. So to qualify to apply for this grant, you must meet the following criteria. Number one, you must be a for-profit business. Number two, you must have revenues of less than $1 million on an annual basis. Number three, you must be committed to your customer as well as your community. So they want to see that you have a good culture and a good rapport with the people who you're targeting and who you're working with as far as your customer community. And finally, number four, they actually want you to show how you will actually use the funds and how you will actually use it to expand your business and have a clear plan of how you will execute so that you can actually use the funds strategically to not only create jobs, but also help the community as well as your customers. So the deadline to apply for this $5,000 to $25,000 in grants is July 21st. And if you'd like to apply for this grant, you can actually go directly to Hello Alice's website at helloalice.com/grants/SBGF. So these are just a few of the new grants for the month of July. We couldn't include all the grants as we try not to keep the videos too long. And this month, there are a lot of grants. So if you'd like us to feature your city and your state, make sure you drop your city and your state in the comment section below so we can make sure that we cover you. Also, our Grants Masterclass is still open. So if you'd like to learn the top masterclass for grants, where you can actually learn how to actually get grants coming into your business consistently, regardless of your location, regardless of your status, whether you're a new business or an existing business, or you've been a dormant business, make sure you connect with us by going directly to my website at AskRinde.com, clicking on grants, and getting started today. We'd like to see you in the community. We'd like to see you in the masterclass. There are people from all around the country who are actually experiencing this game-changing masterclass and learning how to get more sales for their business, learning how to get grants for their business consistently. They've learned the grant formula, which we teach you inside the Grants Masterclass. So we'd like to see you connect with us and get involved with the Grants Masterclass. So feel free to actually go directly to my website at AskRinde.com, click on Grants, and get started today. So if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. You can also email me anytime. My email address is AskRindeNetwork@gmail.com. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Until next time, thank you so much for watching.